Hey, what's up? It is DJ. New mods are here for Farm Sim 25, and boy, oh boy, what another day. 53 mods released today. All platforms got 33 new. Yes, the Mustang is here, and 19 updates. Yes, the Colossus update is here, and PC Mac players got one new. Pretty simple on that way. Timestamps are down below. You're definitely going to need them today. Otherwise, let's jump right in. Hey, real quick before we get started, I want to let you know there's probably not going to be a news video today. Most of everything that I was going to talk about came out. So I don't really think there's a whole lot to talk about anymore in the news video. So everything you needed to know in the news video is in the mod video. So let's jump in. Starting off today, new ones for all platforms, we have the Lizard Muscle from Agritono. This bad boy has a lot of customization going on with it. So we have options for fenders, wheels, bumpers, front parts. We also have rear bumpers, exhaust, side and air intake, hood, spoiler and blind, steering wheel, dashboard, windows, axle widths, but just for the front, strip and front grille, cabin light, headlight sticker, and attachers, as well as colors. As far as the engine goes, there's nothing that you could change. It's got 320 horsepower no matter what, 120 liters of fuel, and it goes 129 miles per hour. It's also super light at 1.5 tons. Customization options for the fenders include a plastic fender as well as a color painted fender. So if you wanted to increase those a little bit, you can. We also have multiple different wheel options of Continentals. Now, these are just the tires, not the rims. So when you're going through here, just find the tire that you really like. We also have a Michelin set as well, but they're more of an off-road tire. I have found that my favorite is Continental 3 because it is set up as a drag car with chunky boys in the back. However, a nice white wall never hurt nobody. Looking good through there. Don't we have some white lettering as well? Yes, we do. Very interesting. Let's stick with it. Then we have multiple different setups for the rims. So you are able to go through and find ones you like. And I gotta say, I think they got some pretty good ones in here. Rim number 2 is probably going to be the most popular, with I think maybe a rim number 3 next. However, my favorite one, rim number 7. It's a little flashy, ain't it? Bumper options. So we've got the model number 1 with and without that extra detail. Then it removes a bit. And then we get kind of like a setup you'd see in Forza Motorsport or Horizon or something like that, with that splitter at the very front. So a couple different options through there. Then we have the front part. Now this is going to be setups for the lights in the middle plus your logos. So you can set up all of that if you want. Plenty of options there. Then we get around to the rear bumper. So we've got a couple different setups. You can throw in a ducktail on there. Kind of changes the bumper a little bit. Then we get more of a bit of a different bumper. Very, very different on there. Seems more of a Chevy style than a Ford style, but then again, I don't know much about these old cars anyway. As far as exhausts go, we've got a couple different sets. You can throw some on the side if you want. And this is also going to depend whether you want that chrome on the side or a painted color. So it's not just the exhaust, it's also the side skirts as well. Then we have the intakes on the side. At least that's what they are calling them. You can change a few of those up if you would like. Then we have some different hood options, including one that's completely open. If you were wanting to do a barn find or something like that, this is the way you would want to go for that. Of course, we do have a couple different spoiler options, plus we have those bits over the rear window. I'm sure they have a name, but again, I'm a car guy, but not that into Mustangs. I'm not a Ford fan, so there is that. We do have different setups for the steering wheel, whether you want a black one or a wood. You've also got the black steering wheel with a full central console, which I find kind of cool. That's pretty sweet. So it changes up the center console, and you could do that with a wooden one as well. Then you've got the dashboard set up, kind of modernize it a little bit. You can do the black or the wood or the standard, which is, to be fair, standard. You also have a carbon fiber. I like that one. That one's my favorite. Window options. You've got a couple different setups for that. And then the axle width. Ooh, so this one's actually changing the rear as well. So I guess if you go with my favorite wheel options, the drag, it only increases the front, not the back, but it seems like the rest of them do well. This is probably also where you would want to use those extended fenders, because that is going to help you out a lot with that. Then, of course, we get down here to the strip and front grille set, so you can do the stripe, which is missing an E at the end of that. Cabin light, you can throw an LED bar or or that. Goodness gracious. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Headlight stickers, you can cross those out if you want this to be for racing. And then attachers, you could throw a trailer hitch on the back. Of course, we have main colors for our colors for main. Bumper, the stripe, as again, it's missing the E. Headlight lenses and rim colors. Here's the difference between the two that I've done. One's stock, and this is the one that I put together that was kind of a little bit insane and crazy. We do have multiple different control groups. We have suspension and hood. We also have seats, mirrors, and steering wheel, suspension and hood. Okay, so we have two, not multiple different ones. Very nice to see that, at least. Let's see here. Can't do the hood because I don't have one, but you can open that, I guess. And then going into the next control group, let's see what we can get into here. So we've got the rear view mirror, which can be changed up. Pretty cool. And I'm on PC, so it does work for me, but it may not work for you depending on how many mirrors you have selected and your platform. What else can we do with this thing? We can change up the steering wheel. That's pretty sweet. And we've got some other stuff too, but it's not doing nothing for us. So I don't know what to tell you. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also increase the setups here. So raise up or do that. There's some pretty neat setups for this. How does it drive though? That may be one of the most important things. It is wide open for sure. Holy cow. Oh man. It's got 4 gears, as you would expect for something that came out around this area. It definitely has an interesting torque curve, I would say. It takes it a while to get up to speed. Ooh-wee! And then it also backs up a little bit when you gun it. There seems to be a lot of things that do that. They back up whenever you gun it. So there's second gear into third. Third seems to be probably the longest gear. Although, I don't know, fourth's not too bad. I mean, it's pretty sweet. Let's see, let's get down here and let's do a, oh, slow it down. Did you see my camera move forward? The faster we go, the further back the camera sets itself. You see that? Don't like that. It makes a very inconsistent driving experience. You feel like you're driving the car further and further away from you, making you have to zoom in, but this is as far as you can zoom in. There's some work, I think, that needs to be done with this. It's super cool, and it's great for a 1.0 update, but there's a couple things that need to be done. Next, we have the CaseIH Steiger Series large frame from CaseIH Modding. This bad boy comes in 2 flavors, either with wheels or with tracks. However, if you want the most power, you will need to go with the wheeled version. However, everything else kind of is the same minus weight, with the track version weighing a little bit more. As far as our engine options, between the wheel one, we have between 360 and 625 horsepower with manual or power shift transmissions, multiple different wheel options from Lizard Farming, Michelin, Continental, BKT, Trelleborg, and Midas. We also have some twin wheels if you want to go for those. We do have a front weight setup. We've got beacon lights, monitor around towards the inside, including the Kinsey Blue Advantage. We've even got the Kinsey KPMII, Precision Planting, Blue Vantage, and we also have the Pre-PLA and the KP. I don't know nothing about all these, but I do know that they're awesome, and I'm going to go with all of them because I think that's cool. We do have the quick hitch for the back, making this super versatile between different tractor and tool options. We also have extra front lights showing the decals, which is kind of neat, only brand and model. You can also change that up, so check that out. It's pretty cool. It kind of removes that stripe on the cabin, and it looks pretty cool, but debranding it's always nice. And then a main color and a rim color. Secondary, we have the Quadtrac version with a standard set, standard number 2, and that's it. So we can change up the tracks a little bit, but other than that, that is it. And again, as I mentioned, this one only goes up to 600 horsepower, although you do get the added bonus of tracks. Here's the difference between the two. I would say the one on wheels sits a little bit higher, but it could also depend on which wheels you go for. Difference between the quick hitch and no quick hitch, and a bit of a startup. Nice. Absolutely nice. Doesn't look like we've got any animations on here. I do have my steering turned up all the way, so we're going to get a little bit of movement. But speaking of movement, we also have a bit of movement when it comes to the movement inside. Check that out. Tell you what, you want a realistic? You got it, baby. Serious modding? Throw it in your face. Let's go. Love it. Next up, super excited to see the John Deere 4940 self-propelled sprayer from Custom Modding. There are 3 tools that are paired in this pack. We have the machine itself, the spreader, and the sprayer. Let's start off with customization options and things you need to know about the machine. 340 horsepower, 31 mile an hour, max speed. It also has a working speed of 31 miles an hour, but that's not really done here, so that shouldn't be there. As far as your wheel brands, we do have a Lizard set, a Michelin set, and a Midas set. You can also throw on some LSWs if you want to. We do have a Starfire 3000, fender options, beacons. We have the Green Star 3 software. You want to either do the Spray Star or the Spread Star, so that's just going to show what's on the screen. We have numbers 1 through 25, although we always go 3 for Dale, and then you can do windows up to 75%. If we back out of there and we take a look at the dry box, solid fertilizer and lime on here, and we can even change up the color of that box. And if you have Giant Software's color mod installed, you can change it up to really whatever you want. 19,200 liters at 24 miles an hour, 24 meters at 18 miles per hour. I apologize, a little misspeaking about a few things. We don't need to be doing that. And lastly, in here, we have the 120-foot boom, aka 36.5 meters. It will hold 4,542 liters of liquid fertilizer and herbicide, although you can increase that by about 200 up to 4,712 if you go with the direct inject 170 unit. Although it is pretty expensive, but it does offer a little bit more. So, hey, go for that. And then you can also go for the load command system, which is just going to add a little hitch at the very front. This guy right here, although it is not functional. Once you get this thing out into the field, there are a couple things that we can do. First off, we can open and close the side door. Do we have the audio? Doesn't seem like the audio changes, but that's okay. We also have sprayer arms, which we can raise and lower individually, and we can even raise and lower the whole thing to bring it down closer to the ground. Not only that, if you want to spread your stuff out, you know what I mean? Right there, check that out. You can do that. You've got infinite options from point A to point B, and that is everything you can do with this bad boy. This is what your machine looks like when there's nothing attached to it. Looks a little bit naked. Let's hook up here to our dry box and see if there's anything special that we could do with this, and doesn't look like it. Also, you may see the activate normal application rate that I've got up there, or double. That is just a PC mod, so don't worry about paying attention to that. Next, we have a very, very fun mod. This is the special edition Krone BiggM from BiggM's. BiggM's mod name has 2 G's in it. That's why I said Giga, because this also has 2 G's in it. Most people would think it was a misspelling, but I know. He didn't tell me, I don't think, but I know. This mower is basically our 450 that we have. However, we can increase the engine up to 848 horsepower or 900 horsepower, which I definitely recommend. We do have multiple different wheel options to choose from, which is great to see. We also have a couple sets with twins. Yes, twins, Basil, twins. We also have window tint options, which is very nice to see, including basically all blacked out, and you can add a rear PTO. Now, what makes this super special is if you add that rear PTO, you've got all kinds of stuff. There's also the PTO inside of it, which passes through. It's not just magical, which I really, really like. Now, we also have color options for like everything, but you could go through and find the ones that you like the best. What I want to show you is the stuff that this crazy thing hooks up to. So we have our trailer hitch on the back. So if you wanted to run a baler or a loading wagon or something like that on the back of this, you can. But also, it hooks up to 3-point hitches. Now, you might find stuff that you want to use. You might find stuff that doesn't really matter. But check this out. If you wanted, you could mow and ted all together. You may need a bigger tedder if you want to ted a whole, swath drop or a wide swath, but you can do that, which is pretty cool. But because it's got a 3-point on the back, which it doesn't, to be fair, I mean, it's not connected anywhere, but it still works. What you can do is you can actually hook up like bigger mowers to this if you want to, and you can use a mower to mow, but hey, if you've got something else wild and crazy attached to the back, I ain't gonna be the judge of it. I support it, you know what I mean? So, definitely some cool stuff going on with this mod. Go through, check it out, see how you like it. I am curious as well about the working, there we go, we'll drop that, about the working speed, and it is 22 miles per hour. Holy cow. Let's go into a swath drop mode. There we go. 22 miles an hour. Yay! Ha ha! Oh boy, let's make the turn. Yeah, bud. Man, this thing's awesome. 22? Really? That's so cool. Here's a mod that is not unrealistic. This is the new Holland TX 62 from 12 Volt. The pack includes the TX 62 combine harvester, the header, and the trailer. Starting with the combine harvester itself, 155 horsepower, 350 liters of fuel, 15 miles an hour, and holds 5,600 liters. We do have a couple different wheel options to choose from, and we have rim colors to choose from. So if you don't like the yellow, you can change it up to something else. Light gray always works. Then if we back out of there, we go to our header, 5.1 meters at 6 miles per hour. And lastly, we have the header trailer for this, which we can also change the rim colors. And we have the same options on this as we do on the combine. For those of you that have been waiting on a CaseIH 1455, well, we got one right here from Hair Crump and G-Master. This is actually called the CaseIH 1455 1255 XL 2.Gen, or I'm assuming they mean Gen 2 here. There are some pretty sweet things with this, and we do have some animations as well. So we can have the 1255, we also have the 1455. So if you want 125 or 145 horsepower, you've got either one. As for wheel options, we do have quite a few different ones through here. If you're like me and you're pretty sentimental about your 1255 or 1455, yes, there's trailer bars, and yes, there's wides, so you're good to go there. We also have exhaust systems, so we can choose a few different ones there. We do have the front mount, so you do have a front 3-point, which is very nice to see, and most of it is missing until you attach stuff. So, hey, 2 thumbs up there, but if you want to roll a little bit more American style, well, you can easily throw on a front weight. Actually, I don't know if this was sold in America. I assume it was. I don't know much about the history of these tractors. I just know I love tractors. That's kind of it, I guess. Then you have your different setups here for your air only front. I always hated the tall one, so we'll go little. As for your rim colors themselves, we do have the case black and the gray. I think the gray looks very, very nice, super sleek. I mean, it's a sleek tractor overall. The modders have not renamed any of the controls, so if you're going through trying to figure out, like, what does raise crane tool axis 3 mean? Well, what it means is the top, you can open that up or close it. We also have rotate crane tool right, which what does that mean? Well, it's the left door. Of course it's the left door. Would you think it was something on the right? Get out of here. And then lastly, we have open crane tool, which is going to be the rear window. I would definitely suggest for an update to change those to the proper things. However, I'll give you this much. It definitely feels like a proper old power shift. Takes a second to go through all the gears, and it is a lot of fun. Man, this thumbnail's gonna be busy. Next up, we got the MasseyFerguson Series 200 from JA Modding. Super excited to see JA back in business. With this one, we have between 75 and 120 horsepower. It'll go 19 miles per hour. You can change up that engine. As we mentioned, wheel options from Lizard. We do have a Vredestein and a Trelleborg setup. So those are there, and then we have multiple different sets through those, although a couple of them are pretty limited. As far as weights on the front, we can go between 1 and 4 plates that weigh 100 kgs each, and then we have fenders of new and old around towards the front, and then a motor sound, new or turbo. Reminds me of Turbo, a Power Ranger movie. God, I love the Power Rangers when I was growing up. Next, we have the tractor with the most customization I've ever seen in my life, the Zetor UR2 Pack. But of course, it's from Caston 18. You know it's gonna be good. This pack for me was found at the very bottom of mods and DLCs and includes 6 different tractors. So we have 3 different crystals. We have the 1211, 1245, and the 1645. And then we have the 12111, 12145, and the 16145. These are going to have a lot to do with bodywork and engine options, so heads up through there. They are all extremely unique in their own way, which I really love, and because Caston has worked so hard on these, you know, they are just absolutely perfect. Nobody makes Zetor tractors better than them. They do a really good job. That being said, there are more customization options than I really know what to do with, and I will say this, I think this tractor deserves its own video. I really, truly do. In order to show you everything, in order to show you every little bit and bob, you are definitely going to need to see a separate thing for this. But nonetheless, it is here, it is out, it is awesome, and if you've used it in the past, you know exactly what to expect as well. Zetor UR2 Pack is back from Caston. Next, we've got a baler that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting on. This is the Lizard ProBale from BBMods. BBMods is the same person that brought us the Round Balers Plus, Square Balers Plus, Custom Bale Support Pack, and most well known for the Lizard AgriFlex self-propelled baler, at least to me anyway. Plus, they message me all the time. What up, baby dude? This baler is not only just a setup of its customization options, but it also will make all of the bales that the AgriFlex will, and actually it's 125, 150, and 180 round bales, which can be wrapped, by the way. All are 1.5 times the capacities that are in there. Also, you can use their custom bale support pack to auto load them up, and not only that, but it also has the 185s, which are 5 times. So if you like running the Lizard AgriFlex, or maybe you wanted something that was trailed, this is basically that. You could go through yourself and find the stuff that you like, but a couple notable things. We have decals for Lizard, with a couple different ones actually. Regular Lizard, then we have Lizard Lawn Care, Farming, another regular Lizard, and a black. We also have the Viking and Kverneland, and we have Kubota, Agco, Colossus, CaseIH, Fendt, Gurval, John Deere, Krone, K-Brand, almost got me, MasseyFerguson, New Holland, Pottinger, and Vermeer. So if there were any of those that you liked, you can choose those. Plus, we have the pickup tech. So it's got a regular 3-meter pickup, or you go with the black hole, and it will do a 16-meter wide pickup, making it where you really don't have to worry a whole lot. Now, main color is going to be the frame on the bottom. So I would always set this to black, or maybe set it to Onyx Black, or if it's John Deere, make it green. Then the design color is going to be the side. And this is where things kind of get fun, because you could choose the colors that match your livery. So I went with a Viking setup. So I'm just going to kind of go through here, find Viking, or Vermeer. Yeah, I chose Vermeer. There we go. That is the Vermeer. Boom. Now we've got that. We could change the rim color up too. I'm probably just going to change that to silver. Whabam, whabam. Now I've got a Vermeer baler. Pretty cool, huh? Very cool indeed. But this also has one other trick up its sleeve. You are actually able to unload unfinished bales without the need for a separate mod, which means this also works on consoles as well. Super duper cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here, and I am going to do a little bit of baling. Please don't pick up the grass. All right, well, whatever. We're picking up some straw here, and, you know, I don't have quite enough for a full bale. So for doing this, it operates a little bit differently than other bale wrap combos. The biggest change is the toggle automatic drop toggles the bale loading into the wrapper unit. The wrapper itself is set to always automatic drop. So if you wrap a bale, it's always going to drop it. To unload the unfinished bale, simply turn off the automatic drop. So there we go. I've turned off the automatic drop. And then they say hit the Y key, but I'm going to assume it is just kick the bale out. Well, I may end up having too many mods that I've got installed. Let's see. Let's push a little bit more. There we go. We've emptied off into the second one. There we go. Unload unfinished bale. Boom, baby. Yeah, so there is a slim chance that that I was not able to do this the way that I wanted to, just for the simple fact that I already have some unload unfinished bale mods. There we go. Gotta close that. I already have some unload unfinished bale mods on, and I've got one that I use specifically, so that may be interfering a little bit, although it still works perfectly fine. So hey, pretty cool. This is definitely what you guys want to see. It reminds me a lot of the fast bale that we had back in Farm Sim 22. As a matter of fact, why don't we do this? So I've put together a Krone baler setup. We're going for the special edition Krone BiggM that came out earlier today. We are going to set the working mode to a swath dropping. And then as far as the baler itself, I think everything's good. Lower down, I do have it set to the 16 meter pickup, but we don't need that. And I guess since there's no placeables, I can come in here and do the grass in here, huh? There we go. So let's say turn on the mower, turn on the baler. We also want to make sure that current drop mode manually automatically. Let's see, we'll turn that on and I guess go, right? Oh, I did not choose the big engine in this, did I? Nah, you got to choose the big engine in this if you want to go fast. Here we go. Alrighty. And as we pull the baler from behind, we are good. I am interested to see how fast this is going to wrap. I'm just running 125 centimeter bales, and it looks like we are going to be able to run this A-OK, at least at 15 miles per hour. Yes, sir. Not bad at all. Let's change this up to the 185 centimeter round bales. Let's see. Let's speed this bad boy up just a little bit. Man, we are on like mod 9 or 8 or something like that. There's so many mods today to talk about. Boop. There we go. Yeah, not bad. I will say in a future update to the baler, might be nice to have it set to a like drop to the side, like flip the bales or do a on the end turner or something like that. I don't think it is part of that mod, but it would be nice to see that. Kind of makes things a little bit easier when using this. Ooh, this is a big bale. All right, well, we're not going to worry about it. Let's just keep it going. Now we get into the tools, and actually every other mod today is a tool. First is the Lizard Z-261 round baler, making 125 centimeter round bales. The Marshall pack, which includes 2 mods. We've got a tanker trailer on here, slurry and digestate at 11 meter spread, 8,000 liter capacity, and we have a bale trailer, no auto load. More baling stuff, we have the round bale trailer, which will hold up to 6 round bales, more if you stack them. Next, the Flegel DHKA 390. This has got some pretty cool liveries on it, or livery. If you guys want to go for that, it's pretty cool. 43,000 liter capacity. Next, the Strutman trailers. We've got 2 trailers in here. One of them is a tandem axle, which will go up to 18,000 liters. That's a pretty cool setup right there. And then we also have one, well, again, that will also do a little bit of that. It says bell trailer. I assume we're opening up on the sides. Yes, we are. I love these little trailers, so I did want to kind of take a look at it. Man, everything's a bell trailer with this. Is this really no capacity? There is no capacity on there. There we go. Finally got up to the extensions. All right. I don't know what was going on. I think it's got a million different bell trailer options. We don't need that many. Next one's the FarmTech Superflex 800. This is a manure spreader, 9 meters at 10,500 liter capacity. The Brimmer Transport Wagon Pack. Now, we already had the 500S in another mod. However, they've added another one. 700, so a little bit longer. Agramass Falcon 3 Planter. This is not direct drill or anything like that, and if it looks familiar to you, I believe this was in a previous base game, but I'm not quite sure. It's definitely been a mod before. Next, the Amazon Kron 200 pack. This is a plow pack of 3 meter or 2.5 meter from, I believe, Farm Sim 22's base game. Maybe it was 19. The Bednar Swifter SM 18000. This big old shallow cultivator from Hispano Modding. 18.2 meter working with. Here's a neat one, the Lizard TP. LOL. 520 and the 520R. So this is actually a cultivator. It's kind of a chain setup that's drug behind. We also have a version that's a roller as well. So kind of neat. Next, the Cokerlane Vector 570-800. This one is set up to have wing shares. It is the only difference from the one that we already have on the Mod Hub. One of the most interesting cultivators I've seen, the Lizard Agri 4M. Next, the Romeco Cambridge Tandem Roller 9.4M. Big ol' roller. Another returner from the base game of Farm Sim 22, the Dalbo Power Roll 1230. This one not from Hispano Modding. We've also got quite a few Scarabellet mods. We'll kind of go back and forth between them and other mods here over the next about 7 or 8 mods. First was the Scarabellet RDS 900 Clod crusher and compactor, it is a roller set. So you can hook up the top, or the first one, and then hook up more behind it. If you're looking for a new mulcher, this one looks pretty sweet. The Scarabelli Green 900 Knife Roller. Pretty sweet, huh? If you're looking for something not green, but still a mulcher, the Scarabelli RFS 400 Knife Roller is for you. Also some really interesting Albert F301. So these are set up to be working with front loaders. Now, with these, you can do with the bell blocking and camera. So it's got the bell block on there so they don't move around. And then you could do it only with bell block, only with camera, or just a regular F301. I don't know why you would need bell blocking with something like this. You're only going to be picking up one, but hey, good news is it's there. There's also a version with a camera, which might make lifting things a little bit easier. Next is this spreader, the Lizard 500L. This will hold 500 liters, got a 10 meter working with, and it will hold solid fertilizer and lime. Big shouty outy to the modders for doing both. Very wild looking fuel tank trailer, which holds 4,500 liters. The Scarabelli rear dump agricultural platform. Goodness gracious, I need to learn how to say that. Or the PAT 200, if you want to call it that. Something kind of similar, the multi-loader. This and the Scarabelli both have a capacity. And your last one, the Scarabelli reversible leveling blade. This can be found in forage harvesting and levelers, which is pretty cool. It's also set up for open fields as well, so you could choose either one. Jumping over to updates, we have a big one for you, enough to where I'm probably going to have to do a separate video on this alone. The Lizard Colossus pack from Chris S. and Riley S. If you follow the channel, you know this very well. Well, this has been updated to version 1.1. They have fixed the AI worker on the Colossus 6000. Unrealistic working speeds have been adjusted. They've added silage additive option to the ultimate ProBale. Liftable bales per request thanks to Yos modding. Standard size bales will work with base game bale loaders. Unrealistic sizes are compatible with custom bale support. Pack by BB Mods. What up, dude? Also, Lightning Wrap Unrealistic is now compatible with standard and custom bale sizes from other mods, like the liftable bales and our pallets of bales, selectable bale capacity pack, Lizard AgriFlex, and the round and square balers plus. But oh no, we have more to it with new equipment like the Lizard Colossus 7000 cotton harvester, as well as the Lizard Colossus bale Master, which accepts loose cotton from the Colossus 6000, as well as wood chips to bio bales up to 1 million liters. That's all right, LOL, think again. We also have the Colossus 73 DD3R Tedder, which is super duper cool, and we even have Lizard Titan Vineyard Disc. Well, that's gotta be all. No! We also have the Colossus FLM 726 fertilizer spreader, which has a 42 meter spread with a 100,000 liter unrealistic option. That one, I believe, is the surprise that he was talking about, so we have that as well. I'm not going to be showing much off in this video, but I will be doing a full video showing off everything that's new to this pack, so keep an eye out for that. Our next update is the Case Quadtrac AFS Connect version 1001. Added an optic change between CVX and power drive on the seat. They've also added CVX or power drive appealer screen and corrected the CVX model types. BigBud Series 3 version 1001 floating flagpole fix and AI shifting fix. John Deere T-Series of 600X headers 101. Improved driving behavior, improved the behavior of headers, and fix the unloading with AI worker. JCB Hydradig 110W version 1001. Fix the steering rods and bars and change the arm controls. JCB Teletruk version 1001. Fixed steering bar alignment. Bailey Bowser 1001. Added fill types for buffalo milk, liquid manure, and digestate, and increased the unload speed for the unrealistic capacity. One of my favorites, the Tanker Trailer Pack version 1.1. Added the Joskin Aquatrans 7300S and added the chassis color options for the Zoonhammer ULT18 and the ULT24. So there you go. Up there at the top right-hand corner is where you're going to find those. Next, the Rudolph Welger DK 280 RP version 1.1. Fixed conflicts with collisions, added conveyor screw, extended cover animation, extended tension belts on all belt trailer, and other optical changes. They do say for unproblematic use, open and close the cover after the purchase. The next mod is showing as an update, but I don't see a changelog. There's also no downloads for this. this. However, it's in the updates, so we're going to treat it as such. The self-made water tank from Blodzigo. Very cool mod name there. Self-made water barrel, perfect for small farms, capacity of 1,000 liters, so nothing too crazy. This one is confirmed as an update. The old German Seller version 1001 trigger for unloading the silo corrected. Next, the tool height control for headers version 1002 updated the cutters with the game update and added the cutters Colossus 875 FC. Forge harvesters with pipe control 1001 updated the cutters with the game update. Belt twine add-on version 1002 improved the color texture of the twine. Member set PN180 2W Plus version 1001 improved the fill level. Same thing for the member set PN240 Max E3 Plus and the member set PN100 again, which I still think all of these should be in a pack together and not separate mods. And we have a very quick turnaround update for WestBridge Hills 25 version 1001. Fixed field not found issue. This must have been an issue that affected a lot of people because the map's got 211 ratings right now and it's at 3.2. Last update for all platforms is the Settlers map version 1.1. Fixed inability to sell field 8, fixed items that were left behind when selling buildings, and fixed the point of sale of the cannery. They do say to continue the save game, the trigger error in the canning factory can be fixed by slightly lowering the terrain where the point of sale is located, just enough to allow the ground texture to be seen on the grid. So, hey, at least you know how to do it and you don't need the update. Lastly, today we do have one new one for PC and Mac players, the Sipma Z-261, but as I mentioned, this is the same as the aforementioned Lizard Z-261 baler. And there you have it. There is everything that you need for today. Let me know what your favorite mod was. Otherwise, I hope you have an awesome weekend. Happy Easter to you, and we'll see you next week.